Hey, what's going on, y'all? Hopefully you're doing well this evening. Um, if you're a person who you're having a hard time trying to develop a fitness mindset, to like be the type of person who would just kind of go out there and get it, come what may, then I want to give you a tip in this video for developing a fitness mindset by giving you an example from my own life. Now, I will say this. I've been into fitness almost all of my life, even since I was a little kid, when I used to run and do sit-ups with my dad. However, I have had my own challenges, things that have stretched me into different levels of fitness. So, for example, when my wife and I were about to get married, we're an ambitious young couple, and one of the things we decided to do, I think it was my wife's idea, my girlfriend at the time, fiance, one of the things we decided to do was to run a 5K. Now, running that long wasn't necessarily a new thing for me, because when I ran track, we had a couple of times where we ran the cross-country trail. I don't know if I did the whole thing, but we would run that trail, and then we also would do, we had other long runs that we would do, which I didn't like, by the way. I didn't like stuff. I kind of have like I don't like long distance. I don't hate it per se either. I don't do a lot of distance running though, but that's another story. Anyhow, we decided we were going to do a 5K, and so at the time, what we would do to train for it was I think I would leave work and meet my fiance where she lived, and then pick her up, and we would go to a nearby river trail and run, and we would gradually increase our distance over time until the race came. Now, I will say this. As far as being motivated to do the run, it did help to have somebody to do it with. That did help. However, for me, the biggest thing was just showing up. Now, hopefully it's not like, oh, Shawn, I thought you were going to give me more than that. But understand what I mean. It was a matter of me developing a habit out of it. And the way you develop a habit is by you kind of got to do you got to make yourself do stuff at first. So I'll illustrate that even by another story. So I went with my kids this weekend to go pick up some pizza, and yeah, it was pizza. We do that every now and then. And as I was parking, I was parallel parking, and my oldest child asked me. She was like, "Is it hard to learn how to drive?" She's 10 years old, so she has a few years before she kind of starts to learn to drive. She said, because it seems like there's a whole lot of different things you have to do. You constantly having to look in this mirror and that mirror, and turn this way and press this pedal and switch the gears and all this kind of stuff. And I was like, at first you got to think about it a lot, but then when you do it a whole lot, you get to a place where you don't have to be nearly as mindful, because a lot of it gets taken over by your subconscious mind. You just kind of at some point you just are able to do it without thinking. And that is what I want to encourage you with in regard to developing a fitness mindset. So, there's some people who kind of been following me with this stretching stuff. and motivated by me and stuff. And I think that's great. I'm honored. I'm honored. One thing I don't want you to do is to look at me as like, yeah, see, Shawn, see, he got it, you know, because he been doing this stuff all his life. He's a certified trainer, and and no, man, I'm a regular dude. It's like I did grow up somewhat of a certain way, but I have my own hang-ups and I have my own habits I had to develop. But what helped me to get to higher levels with my own fitness journey was just simply that when I wanted to do something, when I was really serious about doing it, then I had to basically kind of schedule it and show up, period. So like when I was training with my fiance at the time for the 5K, like literally I knew that she expected me to pick her up and we would go train at whatever time, and so there was no excuses. Like I said, it did help to have a partner too, but even with some of my own, like my own personal solo kind of training stuff, I just kept on, I just showed up. And so at first it was difficult. It was difficult, at least, because it was different. So me showing up was something that was like, okay, it's time to go run, or it's time to go to the gym. And so I had to like literally think about it and go and do. I had to develop the habit of bringing clothes with me. I had to develop the habit of or the mindset that when this time happens, I'm going, period. But then after a few weeks, it got to the point where it was less of me having to think about it. That's just the beauty of just the subconscious brain. You kind of like, you develop the habit, and then it becomes kind of a part of who you are. Just like when you wake up in the morning and brush your teeth, and hopefully wake up in the morning and brush your teeth and wash your face and all that kind of good stuff. When your mom and dad first taught you that stuff, you had to be very intentional about it. There was a little bit of initial excitement because you were kind of doing some things on your own, but like you still had to learn it, and you had to be extremely intentional at first until you did it several times, and then eventually it kind of became more of a part of like, who you were, who you are. And so even with this stretching stuff that I do, I kind of have like I kind of like it, kind of don't like it, thought toward stretching. But I like the idea of stretching because stretching helps me to be flexible. It helps me to prevent injury. I don't like being inflexible. That's something that I've dealt with almost all my life. But but then also being flexible could even be beneficial for blood pressure, especially if you're flexible in your trunk area where you can kind of bend over at the waist with ease. That's good potentially for lowering blood pressure. Studies show that. So, but anyhow, that said, I'll be wanting to do it, but now I've kind of done it so many times at night that I'm kind of starting to get that feeling like when I don't do it that I missed it, and so that's a good sign. That's a good sign that you're developing the habit. Ooh. That's a good sign that you're developing the habit when you start to, you actually start to miss it. You feel like you're missing something. So, so just show up, schedule it, and show up. You have to be very thoughtful about it at first. And then after you're thoughtful about it enough, then it starts to become a habit. Then you'll kind of start to see what's really behind the actions of those people you thought were just some sort of fitness buffs who just love fitness and just always been doing it. You'll just kind of notice, no, they developed a habit and it became part of who they were. It's nothing really special about them, You're as capable, and, so it'll kind of help you to not make excuses, you know what I mean? So anyhow, hopefully this is motivational to you and helps you to understand that a fitness mindset can be cultivated. It's not just something. It's not something that you're born with. It's something that you cultivate. And when you just kind of understand what it really looks like, then you'll be less likely to make excuses, or you'll be less likely to count yourself out. You know. So anyhow, let me know if it was this actually was insightful for you, because I just want to help somebody. I just want to help somebody. I don't. I personally, lament when I see somebody who's really trying to get healthier and accomplish goals in their fitness, and then they're just kind of spinning their wheels for years or whatever. I want you to be successful. So let's get to it, man. We don't need to depend on any systems or anything like that. We need to be empowered in ourselves, take care of these bodies, so we don't need to be our biggest hindrance is holding ourselves back. All right, y'all have a good evening. As we get older, it becomes increasingly important to maintain and build muscle. Muscle helps you burn fat, stay mobile, and can contribute to longevity. However, many people have no idea how to work out to build muscle. My mini workout series on Patreon provides you with my body weight mini workout video library. These workouts use little to no equipment, which means that you can do them in the privacy of your own home. They start at beginner level and progress from there to ensure you continue to see results. Every workout is a full body workout, hitting chest, back, legs, and glutes, as well as other muscles in between. Become a patron today and receive access to my series of mini workouts, plus access to a digital copy of my book, 8 Weeks to Transform Your Diet and Your Health. By combining the workouts with healthy diet changes, as outlined in my book, you'll definitely be on your way to weight loss, improved health, and visible results. Join me at patreon.com/ShawnB2B Fitness today.